Thank you once again for being a part of the journey. So this is my life journal entry for April 18th, 2022, and I am very honored to be able to let everyone know that the beautiful, beautiful human that is my son has arrived here Earthside. River Wolf Solaris Culleton is his name, and it took me a while to actually get to this video. He was born on April 8th and today is April 18th, so I was really just taking a lot of time to really be able to incubate and to really be able to bond and to really just be able to focus on Lacey. And in the back of my mind, I was always just like, oh, I'm gonna update everyone with this journal log eventually. But at the same time, my life is very different now, and even making this journal is an opportunity to be able to reflect on how my life is different and to reflect on how I feel, knowing that it will never be the same. I have officially gone through a portal, gone through a gate, gone through a door. From henceforth onward, I am, and my duties will focus around being a father. So much of my energy will continue to be focused towards River, towards Lacey, towards our growing family. And so there's so much to be able to talk about. And I will say that for those of you who are watching this on whatever platform you're on, I'm actually going to be doing a special event that I'm titled Questions for a New Father. And with this event, you're going to be able to have the chance to be able to send me questions, to be able to share your expressions, your thoughts. And within this contained event that I'm doing on IBBLE, I'll be replying to your guys' events. I'll put that in the info down below, and I'll keep that ongoing even though it literally starts today, but you guys can submit your questions there. And even regardless, feel free to just leave some questions and comments on this video. So many of you have sent in such kind words since the day that River arrived, and I put up a post on Facebook and had over 800 likes and hundreds of comments. And for me, that's such a powerful thing about this part in my life, about welcoming River, is that I know there are so many of you that have actually been following my journey for quite some time. Some of you have literally been following my presence on social media, my journey, my evolution for over a decade, and to have seen me go from a young man and now into, a young father. I'm sure for you that's very fascinating. And I know, again, just kind of reflecting here and reflecting on what this first week as a father means to me, it's very fascinating to just be able to, listen to other people and how from their perspective, not just River, but myself, River, and Lacey, how to you guys, what are we through your eyes? And I know for a lot of you, you guys really resonate with the way that I write about Lacey and I write about love, and that's me speaking from my heart. And when I share this content, even this, it's me creating a space for me to be able to practice communicating from my heart, but to also be able to serve as a mirror, to serve as an example of what love can look like. And love is going to look different in many different circumstances, but I know for a lot of people, even before River was born, they would see Lacey and myself and be like, oh, you guys are clearly soulmates, clearly twin flames, clearly twin souls, whatever term you want to use. You're clearly rising in love together. And so to suddenly just be in this moment where it's boom, just like that, and here we are with a child in our arms, it's so trippy. The best thing I can compare it to is a dream. It literally feels like becoming lucid within a dream, where it's where were the last 9 months? They were the journey, and now suddenly it's he's here, and he's safe, and he's healthy, and he's being supported, and we're nurturing him, and we're cleaning diapers, and we're doing all the little things, where there's the highs and the lows, there's the stress, there's the beauty. That's a big part of what navigating the waves of parenthood is all about. And honestly, it took me a while to even get to this video because first of all, I was so busy, but then also it was just kind of being able to get into that rhythm where by the time I showed up to make this video, I wasn't freaking sleep deprived and haggard. I'm still sleep deprived right now, but I've actually been really focusing on getting good at sleeping when we can, I haven't had a sleep that's been longer than 4 hours since the day he was born, right? It's all been maybe 2 hours if we're lucky, and then the odd time I've gotten a few hours extra. But yeah, for a lot of you, I know from your perspective, it was very meaningful to be able to witness River being born, for him to be here. And I'm continuing to even just invite you guys to comment down below with how you know, what river means to you. And I don't think he needs to mean, you know, necessarily anything. It can really just be a feeling. But I know for a lot of you, it's this idea of like, oh, like it's like kind of like it's a sign of hope. It's a sign of what's possible. It's a sign of love that is within the hearts of each and every single one of us. And I know a lot of you who kind of like follow me and are, you know, aware of kind of like these like spiritual perspectives and metaphysical philosophies, that there's this very powerful idea of, you know, this like next wave of children that are continuing to be born, and for the idea of like two conscious parents to be able to bring forth a child, to be able to raise a child from like a state of consciousness. Like, how special is that? And so for me as a father, you know, there's so much that I reflect upon, and a big part of it is really being able to reflect upon, well, who is River here to be? And how can I assist with this process of helping him be who he is here to be, to hold space for him? The whole process of birth, leading, you know, like through the labor, like from the moment of conception, through the labor, through the birth, you know, all the way into this moment, has been very akin to a psychedelic experience, where a lot of it is navigated through intentional space holding and breath. And the breath has always been such a powerful thing. I know I'm kind of hitting upon a couple things here at once, but again, you know, for River, I know a lot of people, they look at him and they're just like, whoa, like he's like an old soul. Like you look into his eyes, like who is he, right? You get really curious about who he is. Why, from that higher dimensional perspective, why did he choose us? Why did we choose him? What is our relationship beyond this lifetime? And it's fascinating because with River being born, it sounds kind of funny, but he looks exactly like what we imagined he'd look like. And a big part of that was even, you know, like Lacey, like having dreams about him, you know, where we saw him as like this kind of like blonde, blue-haired kid who was kind of like this like watery surfer baby. And now here he is, this like blonde hair and blue-eyed kid. And he's got my features, he's got Lacey's features. He's got my hooded eyes. He's got Lacey's eyes are a little bit different. They're a little bit kind of like slittier. He's got dimples on his cheek, just like me. They're somewhere there. I think they're still there. And he's got like my chin dimple and stuff. And then he's got like both of our noses and everything. And then he's got like my elf ears. If you see there, I've got like the elf ear. He's got an elf ear on both sides. He's just so freaking adorable. Like, we're so in love with him. He's so precious. He's so perfect. And again, you know, just for us to be able to be the parents of that being is so meaningful. And the other thing that is so freaking trippy, I'm a big, you know, kind of like person who gets really interested by like birthdays and stuff like that. Be like, oh, well, when's is, like, who else was born on his birthday? And then, you know, I kind of looked it up and I'm like, okay, April 8th. I'm like, oh, I didn't really find anyone whose birthday was like on April 8th. No big celebrities or anything. No one that I really recognized and stuff. And then a few days later, my friend told me, he's like, oh yeah, like my birthday's on April 8th. And did you know that like April 8th is actually the same birthday as the Buddha? Siddhartha Gautama. There's many different Buddhas, but Siddhartha Gautama, his birthday, at least within the recognition of Japan, different regions celebrated on different days, which is totally cool. But Japan specifically recognizes the birth of Siddhartha Gautama as being April 8th, and the day is actually like a festival, it's a celebration. So for me to be like, whoa, like who is like, this baby was like waiting to be born on April 8th. Like, how fascinating is that? And then even just like, again, I love like the symbolism of numbers, and then like the number 4-8, you know, 4-8, April 8th, 4-8, for infinity. Like, how cool is that this baby is like born like on the day that's like for infinity? So there's all these like continuous synchronicities that are still unfolding ahead of in front of us, and it's so amazing. There's a lot to be able to talk about. I'm going to be talking a bit about it, you know, again, in the separate event, but I'll make sure that you guys are definitely going to be continuing to hear more of the story. We do have my private Instagram account, where we post more pictures and videos of River. That's Druid and Mystic. If you're not following that, follow it there. Lacey and I we're planning on doing some more podcasts together. We're going to like sit down and talk about, you know, our experiences as well. The birth experience was so fascinating. Lacey did such a phenomenal job. Natural birth, we labored here at home, and then we went to the hospital, which was part of the plan. Had amazing midwives. Our friend Bright was there as a support and a doula. It was hard though, like it was hard. Like I don't want to get too much into the details and everything like that. Again, it's a Lacey's experience. I was holding space for it. But there was a period where like his hand was actually like stuck near his head when he was coming out. And because of this, it was actually creating compression on the cervix. And so he wasn't able to get through. And if his hand wasn't there, he probably would have been born like way earlier, like you know, hours earlier. Lacey labored for like, I think it was almost like 48 hours, right? Kind of like coming and going. But then when he came out with his hand through, and I kind of, was silly, but I kind of like to think of it like his hand coming through as if he was kind of like Supermaning his way out of the womb. He's like, dun, 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 like I'm here, and he jumps out that way. But anyways, I'm gonna keep this video under 12 minutes. It's kind of the thing that I do here, and I'll upload to the various platforms. But I'm gonna continue to document the experience of, you know, what it means for me to be a father. There's so much more to reflect on. I'd love to be able to answer some of your questions. Again, whether you're leaving comments here, if you're joining the IBBLE event, please do. That's where I'll create like a nice clean container for me to be able to answer any of your specific questions. Please continue to submit questions or just like general questions to this thread as well on IBBLE, to my life journal thread. If you're not on IBBLE, if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever, again, download IBBLE and join us there. Follow me at Mystic Spider-Man. But yeah, this experience over the past week, again, it's still sinking in. It really is. You know, I'm still integrating it, and I think for me that's important, is to just be present with it and to balance that, you know, like being able to still do all my online stuff while still doing this, and then kind of like finding this ability to be able to take my wisdom that I'm gaining from that and share it with you, which is something I'm so passionate about. So I'm so excited to be able to continue to share it in a way that feels in alignment with my own heart. And again, I'm just so grateful for everyone's ongoing support, your kind words, your shared excitement. We're so grateful to be able to introduce you to River, and yeah, you'll be seeing more around. And yeah, just imagine like in 5 years from now as he like grows up into a little kid and a young man. So anyways, thank you guys again so much, and I look forward to being able to share more of this journey with you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Much love.